Hello there! It seems like we have ourselves the most annoying floor 12 to ever exist in Spiral Abyss. But with enough skills and techniques, you can clear this cycle of Abyss with relative ease, at least from the amount of RNG involved with the enemy lineup. So anyways, let's take a look at the enemy lineup first. First chamber has new enemies, hooray! But on a serious note, these doggos pack the punch. They are not your typical puppies you see anywhere else. Moving on to the second chamber. Jovishaps, do you really need a guide for these rock lizards? You don't, right? Right? You seeing this shit in second half? Nah, these guys are pushovers. They're not like the phantoms you see in Vagabond Sword. In fact, these guys are actually way easier to defeat compared to the doggos. You see why if you actually tried doing it yourself. Chamber 3, great, more doggos and crab flavored Doritos. By far this chamber has the most inconsistency when it comes to the crab flavored Doritos. We'll get into that later. When it comes to team compositions, I'm not the best at making one, so I'm gonna give a shout out to Migo's Twitch channel where he tests out team compositions for each Spiral Abyss cycles and number crunching for specific characters to wholesome content. Definitely go check out Migo if you want some advice on how to build a specific character or team compositions. Link to Migo's Twitch channel will be in the description. And now the disclaimers. My video focuses on strategy rather than team compositions. The team composition used in my video are not to be replicated exactly to suit your damage needs to clear Spiral Abyss with 36 stars. Characters used in this video are mostly 4 stars but with high constellation and 5-star weapons. If your team composition is not enough to clear the DPS check, then I advise you to look for team and character guides that are available everywhere on YouTube. I am not a math guy, I'm just someone who is a tad bit better than any average Genshin player out there. With the disclaimer out of the way, let's get into the video itself. This chamber is not that difficult per se, because these doggos come after you like super glue. They relentlessly attack you from all sides, leaving you scratches all over your body. But would you forgive them if they did that? I know I wouldn't for these doggos. When fighting against these big doggos, you might find yourself hitting an invisible wall when they do this maneuver. And to simplify things, this is how it works. Get it? Not that it matters anyways. There's really no counter to these janky hitboxes, they are just there to waste your time. When fighting against these doggos, they seem to have negative resistance for their own element, and higher resistance to element that isn't their own. So in this case, bringing electro characters here is a great idea. For the Geo counterpart, I'm not so sure. And now I will speed up clips where the fight prolongs to an extended period or when the fight itself is relatively straightforward. In the second wave of second half, there will be 2 small Geo doggos and a big one. I'd advise you to always target the big doggo as it has the highest HP among all of them. The rest will take collateral damage. When you're fighting these 3 Magu Genki, There is a very consistent pattern that they always do. First, the Cryo one will do an EI lunge and fly towards the edge of the map. Second, the Animal Phantom will shift its sword and release up to 2 wind blades at you. Third, the one with a physical body will always throw a mask attack at you. React accordingly and you'll be fine. Next attack pattern to look out for is the shockwave from the Cryo Phantom. Use any of your Safeta burst and iframe through it, or just simply dodge into it. The Animal Phantom is somehow always walking further and further away from you. If such situation arises, I will just defeat the original and Cryo one first, then move on to the Animal one. I assume anyone will be able to clear the first half with ease, so you should have plenty of time to lose in the second half. Oh, you reached Chamber 3. Congrats! This chamber is gonna give you the pet peeve, but with enough skills and techniques, you can definitely get through this. First, you run to the left of the Doritos. The crab flavoring will jump to you almost always, keep in mind. The crab flavoring doesn't always do this, it's just the most consistent method. The Doritos may sometimes use the retreat attack. If that happens, you might as well reset the chamber. If they get separated, you can kiss goodbye to your run. After you have taken everything I just said into considering, they should go down in a matter of seconds. Now here comes the fun part. These two doggos is identical to the first chamber, but there's something about them that makes them favor splitting from each other. While there is no counter to this, I can only tell you to fight them closer towards the edge, so that they don't split up too far apart. At the very least, this should help you deal consistent AoE damage to both of them at the same time. Last wave is rather simple, as there is one less big doggo to worry about. Looks familiar? It's the same lineup you see in the first chamber. Like I said earlier in the video, focus your attention on the big doggo. Once the doggos are defeated, 2 ruin guards spawn. Oh man, do I miss these guys. They don't have a geo aura on them, so the final sprint is a big relief. And that comes to the end of my video. I hope this video has been helpful to you in any ways. I certainly don't want to attempt this cycle of abyss ever again. And as usual, character builds will be shown at the end of the video, and I'll see you on the next Spiral Abyss patch.